Welcome to the start of the February reading vlogs. It is actually February 2nd right now as I'm talking to you, and I am getting ready to go into work. Boo. I'd been working at home for the last couple of weeks, and then we had we were supposed to get a snowstorm across the entire state yesterday, and so they surprisingly took the steps to shut down the offices so that people didn't have to be out on the roads. So that ended up being a lovely surprise that I got an extra day at home. But today I have to go back into the office. I am one of those people that I could work from home forever and be perfectly happy. I love working from home. But But alas, I am not allowed to do that at my current job, and my job is too good to look for another one just so I can work from home. So maybe someday. But anyway, enough about that. Reading update. I have started my Historathon reads. I put up a poll on Instagram about which of my library books that I should start first. And Hamnet won, which I kind of expected. For a while, From Scratch by Tembi Locke was in the lead, but Hamnet pulled ahead, and I kind of expected it. So yesterday, I read about 50 pages, which satisfactorily turned out to exactly 2 chapters. And yeah, so far it is really intriguing. I had heard that you never hear about Shakespeare, and he is never actually directly, his name is never directly mentioned, but it does have a whole couple of scenes where he is involved in young Hamnet's life, and then there's one in like a flashback kind of scenario. So Shakespeare's definitely involved in this story. He's just not directly called William Shakespeare. He is called like the father, the tutor, probably at some point he'll be called the playwright or something like that. So yeah, but he is definitely in there. It's written in a very interesting style. There's so far been very, very minimal dialogue. I mean, there's definitely been dialogue, but it's a lot of description of what's going on, which usually is not really my thing. I do like quite a bit of dialogue in my stories and action, and this is definitely slower. There is action, but it's taken a long time for action for the action to unfold. But the writing is beautiful. I think the writer is doing a very good job of making the descriptions not feel like a slog to get through. But anyway, I better go to work. I will talk to you when I get something else done. All right, bye. Hello, friends. It is actually Saturday the 6th. So I have kind of failed at filming anything this week. But that is not to say that I haven't been reading. It's just been a very slow reading week for me for some reason. Even my audiobook was taking me forever, which I don't think that I told you that I was reading or listening to. So that is the book that I have actually finished this week. So I was listening to The Mother of the Brontes by Sharon Wright, and it is a biography about Maria Bronte, who was the mother of Charlotte, Anne, and Emily Bronte. So this was actually pretty short. It ended up being about 9 hours on audio, but it was because it did like all these appendices and everything like that at the end of the book. So really, it didn't take 9 hours to get through, and then I listened to it at like two times speed. So, but that tells you what kind of a reading week I had, because that should have only taken me maybe 5 hours to get through, but I was only able to listen to it every couple of days. So, and not for that long. Like, I kept getting interrupted at work, so it was hard to get through. Um, but I really did enjoy it. I had no idea that the Brontes' whole family was so interesting. I mean, obviously, we know about the three Bronte sisters, and if any kind of their history, at least a little bit about like their brother Branwell and his he had some addiction issues, and that they just led a very solitary and hard life, and just it's just interesting to read about their lives and how that shaped their writing style, and just even that they were writers at all. But Patrick and Maria Bronte just had like crazy lives as well. Their parents were like so interesting, I guess is a word for it. And I think it was maybe Maria's grandfather. I think that was the only thing I got a little bit confused as to who we were talking about throughout. But I believe her grandfather was actually a smuggler. So yeah, it was really, really fascinating. And their Patrick and Maria's marriage was just so lovely and heartbreaking. They actually did love each other, and well, this isn't really a spoiler, but Maria dies young, and so that then we know that like the Bronte sisters that we know were just raised by their father, basically, and just the sadness that he feels and how it kind of shaped his parenting after that, after she dies, was just so heartbreaking. And in an era where people didn't often marry for love, that was just really nice to see. So I really enjoyed this. And oh, I don't think I said I listened to this for the Fierce Women book club that Kate Howell and Milan, I think I'm saying her name wrong. Milena, I think is how you say her name. And I'll put everybody in the description. And Christy from Dostoevsky in Space, they are running, and it's all about books about authors and women, basically, in history who dealt with chronic illnesses or just hardships, and how they overcame them. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to read a lot about female authors in the past with this book club. So I'm really looking forward to continuing with it. That being said, I have not finished Hamnet yet. But I'm about, I don't know, about a third of the way through. It is really good, but I just haven't had a lot of time to physically read this week. And it takes me a long time to physically read things, which is why I focused on doing audiobooks so much in 2020. I could just do that while I was doing other things, and I didn't have to like find time to just sit down and read and not fall asleep. So, which is kind of what's happening with this book. It is really good. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's going to be heartbreaking. We haven't like we're in it right from the start, the heartbreaking stuff, but it's not fully there yet. So I have a feeling there's going to be tears. I have a feeling I'm going to cry a lot. Um, but yeah, the writing style of this is really beautiful. I think I said in my last clip that um, it's kind of it's very descriptive. There's not a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of telling and showing the action, showing what's going on, and not really having much communication between characters. Shakespeare is featured in flashbacks a lot of times in this, but he's not, directly called Shakespeare. And I actually really like those sections because it's focusing a lot on the marriage between Anne or Agnes and Shakespeare before children, and I'm actually really enjoying those parts more at this point, which is probably not supposed to be the focus of this book, but it's kind of what I enjoy. But then again, I enjoy Shakespeare, so yeah, I'm enjoying her portrayal of Shakespeare, like the young Shakespeare before he became the playwright. And I like the parts about his children too, but it's not grabbing me as much. But I really like Agnes's character. She's she's an interesting girl. Let's say that, interesting woman. And I don't know how much of it is um, biographical for Anne Hathaway, who was, I guess, Agnes in her father's will, and that's why she is called Agnes in this. But we don't really know a whole lot about Shakespeare, so I'm thinking she took a lot of liberties, but with their lives. But she definitely did her research, so I'm really enjoying it. I just haven't finished it, and hence why I haven't really filmed that much this week. So, yeah, pretty much that's all that's been going on. I have been knitting, of course, because that's just what I do. My college roommate, actually had her baby on the third, I believe, and she had a little boy. She did not find out what she was having, which is different for this day and age. And this is her second baby, so I made her um, a little baby sweater, and luckily I finished that just in the nick of time because she was not due. She had her baby early, so the other babies that I have been making things for are still cooking. So yeah, I'm gonna get that shipped off to my friend soon, and my mother is sewing the buttons on for me because I'm not good with sewing. So I will take a picture later when I go over to my parents' house, and then I'll put a little picture up here of it because she doesn't watch my videos, so she will not see this prior to getting these sweaters. So I've been talking for a while in this clip, even though really nothing has been going on. And yeah, so hopefully enjoy the shorter video from today, from this week. And yeah, I'm just rambling now. So I will talk to you in my next week's vlog. Bye.